as Jan just discussed, you saw that the needs for vitamin A differ across different types of individuals by age and gender and life stage. And what you saw in his graph were the absolute differences in vitamin A needs. But if we want to draw comparisons across individuals who have different calorie needs every day, we can look at the needs for nutrient density in their diet. So women and children typically need fewer calories per day, but they need a more nutrient-dense diet for certain nutrients. So that means they need more micronutrients per calorie. For example, adolescent girls need more calcium and phosphorus. Breastfeeding women need more folate, protein, vitamin A, as you saw, and especially when they're breastfeeding after age 31, which is considered an older breastfeeding woman. And older men need more vitamin B6, B12, C, and E, and toddlers need a higher lipid density of their diet. And a great way to illustrate what this means and its implications for cost is to show how this translates into different costs to meet your daily nutrient requirements. And so what you see in this graph is a life stage across your x-axis, separated by gender. Males are blue and females are red. And you see the daily cost of nutrient adequacy on the y-axis, and it illustrates that different age and gender groups face very different costs every day to meet their nutrient requirements. And this is very interesting and important, but for families, a more useful piece of information is what it would cost for the whole household, made up of many different types of individuals. So the contribution that I'm making to this project is to combine this idea of using cost indices with actual household data. And so I'm bringing in household survey data to think about what the food environment looks like for actual households, and doing so in the case of Malawi. So to aggregate the needs up to a household level over all of these different types of individuals, we use this concept of nutrient density, and we develop two scenarios of household food sharing in order to estimate whether or not what households are actually consuming is enough to meet their nutrient needs. And so the first scenario is a scenario of sharing, which assumes that everyone eats from the same diet, from a common family plot. And the person in that household who has the highest need for nutrient density in their diet for each particular nutrient define the diet required for the entire household. And this assumes that every person gets enough energy to meet their energy needs, but that's the only assumption. In the targeted diet scenario, everybody gets an individual diet perfectly tailored to meet their needs, but this makes stronger assumptions that they get a share of all household food resources that are in proportion to all of their individual needs. And when we compare this to what households actually report consuming, we draw the conclusion that looking at the range between these two scenarios, given their current food resources, households in Malawi only have enough right now to meet, on average, 70 to 80% of all of their nutrient needs. So Steve is now going to tell you a little bit more about the market food price environment that these households in Malawi are facing.